Good morning. How y'all doing today? It is 5:43 a.m. on Friday, June 12th. Okay. I just finished up the newest section of the newest class. Okay. And I'm bringing up this subject because once again it touched home. Okay. There's not much research into this, and what I'm about to talk about is a behavior within the contents of what I was working on that was not even covered. And I went through the fucking pages. Okay. Then I went on the website, fucking went through the fucking pages. Scroll. Could not even find any detail. I'm asking AI and it even does not compute. Okay. So what I'm about to talk about, I think I might need to close the door. Check on the puppies first. Is how women either suddenly or gently starts becoming more obsessed with other people's kids besides their own in the household, and subsequently is neglecting and kind of abusing the child by not really validating them, not acknowledging that they're there, not really taking care of them, not being mom, but being the babysitter. Okay? So give me just a second. Okay, so how to check on the puppies. I've been racking my mind trying to figure this out. Okay. None of the different AIs, even the ones associated with just straight up psychology, does not pull up anything. Okay. Now, I have experience with this because my mom was a babysitter when I was a kid. Okay. She's always been a babysitter since I was fucking little. Okay. And still to this day, at 65 years old, she's still concerned about other people's kids. This is a family neighborhood. I don't care. You know, it's great. You know, honestly, I like the security of knowing that the kids are safe enough to play in the street. I've got a street that goes like this in front of me, and then a street like this. Okay, and the kids play down the street, all the way down that long street there, and kind of curves around to the next street over. So they got a safe little pocket. Okay. And I'm not really concerned about it. I see it when I look out the window. I make sure the dogs ain't fucking barking at the kids like a fucking jackass, right? We're usually in the backyard fucking chilling. But my mom, still to this day, is concerned about other people's kids, so much so that she knows the fucking bus schedules and the fucking and school schedules and shit, and always bring it, oh, it's a holiday, it's school, blah, 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 that's kids are out, blah, blah. I want to hear it. The mothers of my children have kept me from my kids their entire life. I ain't concerned about them fucking kids. I want to see my kids. I want to see all of you. I want to spend time with you. I deserve to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? There is something to this because I'm seeing it in not just my mom. I'm seeing it in other women, and other women her age, and I've even seen it in my sisters. Okay? one sister refuses to have children. Okay. The other had children, but is still more concerned about the children in the hospital than her own two in the house. She works at a hospital. Or used to, anyway. Nurses. Both. They were both. I think they're both nurses. Anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway, I've seen multiple age groups, multiple scenarios where the mother has kids that live in the house, but she has shown more concern about and affection towards other kids outside the house. Okay? Now, this is not the same as my fatherly love for Allie, Zeke, and Adela. Okay? I'm not obsessed. I'm worried about them like a dad should be, but I have to let them be. Allie's growing up, and Zeke and Adela are with their mother somewhere else. Okay? A good, logical, sane dad would carry on with his life and just bear with it. Okay? An obsessed person would be up somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, asking questions and fucking, and, like these, what city was that? I forget. I'll have to bring up the article. There was an entire group of people caught gang stalking innocent people for no reason. And that's another demonstration of being obsessed of other people other than yourself. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it goes to very subtle to very extreme. It does. Now, my experience with being a child in the household of a babysitter, and she's still technically in her mind a babysitter to this day. Okay. Me and my sisters didn't get that much attention. Okay. I never really knew what a real mom was until I went to a friend's house and saw what that lady was doing, how she was behaving, how affectionate she was to her kids. Walking up to her son and giving him a hug and fucking rubbing his hair, his head and shit, and just fucking giving him a kiss on his forehead and shit. I never got that intention, or at least I don't remember it. Okay? And when I do remember, I was getting fucking beat. There are sections of my life in childhood I just cannot remember. It's like completely wiped, delete. And then there's other sections where it's got little clips, pictures, faces, just kind of a scenery, but no words, no contents, no interaction, no scenarios. It's all jumbled. Okay. I do remember always just sitting there in my room, not really getting any attention from mom. I remember going out of my room often when her husband was in the Navy out to sea. That's when I had my freedom. And she was always so more concerned about the other kids, and she even tried to get me to fucking help her do her babysitting. I ain't doing that shit. I didn't have it then. I fucking booked it when they started having issues or babysitting and fucking all this other shit. I've noticed that in many different people as well, like buddies from the Marine Corps and the Army. I talk to them, and periodically you'd hear the same kind of comments that happened to me. It's just it didn't dawn on me until I started doing this homework stuff, all this psychology stuff. The more I do, the more it enlightens me as to what actually happened when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may never be able to get those memories back, but this has helped me understand that what had happened to me was real. It did happen, and it is abuse. Okay. I almost want to ask my kids straight up, has something like similar to this that happened to you, where mom has suddenly become more interested in other people's kids and not really concerned about you, or not just concerned but obsessed even, and you feel neglected and left out, like she's giving somebody else more attention. If you feel that she's giving somebody else more attention than you, that's a kid, you need to make that a point. You need to tell her that. Okay? This is just something that struck a nerve. Made me think. Have my kids experienced that? Gotta ask. A lot of things that I've experienced in my childhood, y'all have experienced it. It hurts because I keep thinking back, like, I never want any of these things to happen to my kids, and yet all my kids have been kept from me. And with this knowledge, I could have prevented all this shit. Yeah. I've been doing this since I broke it off with Amber in 2014. That's when I started the life coaching stuff. And it wasn't called life coaching back then. I forget what the acronym was, but I got this, like, stacked deck of paper. It was self-help, self-discipline, self-development. I had a bunch of psychology stuff in there, and I became interested in it. Okay. And that's what really set me apart from the rest of my peers from that point forward, around 2014. I guess you would say that in itself could probably rephrase that, probably would be the one thing that enlightened me enough to set my mind free to be single and strong enough mentally and physically to endure the patience necessary to be single. I don't know if I can express that enough for my kids to understand. After everything I've been through in life, I realized healing takes time. But if you don't disconnect from the world, the healing won't begin, and it won't be continuous, and it won't stick. Okay? If you keep trying to keep yourself busy without addressing the mental health issues, if you keep trying to keep yourself busy and you keep going and doing something else instead of addressing the shit, okay? I'm I'm not going to say names, but a couple of your mothers continuously run from the issues, okay? Whether mentally or physically packing up and moving, okay? That's avoidance. It's part of mental health issues. And if you don't address things, they just compound and get worse, okay? So in order to allow the healing to begin, you have to disconnect from everything and everyone, okay? Years ago, the internet wasn't as big as it is now, and devices weren't as connected as they are now. These days, everything is connected, and we use this thing for fucking everything. Okay? So it's a little bit more difficult to disconnect. And it's even more difficult to disconnect from things that are emotionally hurting you. Okay? Or things that you have your hopes up high for to get done, or to accomplish, or to achieve, or to go do. Okay? Sometimes we do need to retreat to a different location. For instance, I couldn't get anywhere in Raymond, Washington. That place was so dinky, there wasn't even a Walmart. Okay? And I couldn't even get a job at the fucking local McDonald's. Like, they had my application almost 5 years later, called me up. No, they didn't even call me, they emailed me. And I emailed them back and said, look, when I was stuck there in Raymond, Washington, I needed a job. You're contacting me 2 years later. Don't bother emailing me back. Okay? Stupid shit like that. I should probably not go down that track. Let's not do that. Okay, so anyway, you gotta disconnect from everything. All right. And one of the things that really set you apart from healing or digging in deeper like a tick, like my sister. Okay? Sometimes, like what I did in my life, okay? Eventually I got to a point where I went out and became a cowboy, dedicated living in my camper. That process in itself allowed me to start my healing, okay? I only had a cell phone. It wasn't until 2022, 2021, something like that, I got an internet box, put it in my camper, and as long as it's plugged in, it gets cell signal, I got fucking internet, right? But that wasn't until later. I was really, really reliant on a phone. And back then, phone antennas were not that great. And internet, YouTube, on your phone on cell signal has always sucked for me. I've always had to use Wi-Fi. Okay? So I really relied on text messages or phone calls back then. And that was beneficial because it helped clear the mind. You're not interacting with everything and everyone at all times. Okay? That's my point. And I'm sorry, I ramble. I'm sorry. Having that disconnect and being able to open my camper on my day off or at the end of the day, stand there in the doorway of my camper, smoking and watching the sunset. That was my thing. Stand there, smoke cigar. Make sure I down some fucking water. I was guzzling fucking gallons of water. Just watching the sunset. Okay, that process of releasing and relaxing was the healing process. Okay, now there has been lots of studies of listening to water, watching the sunset, swimming, playing with sand or clay, and the different types of art like painting and relatively anything that's artistic, okay, that will inspire the mind to grow new synaptic pathways so your brain can find new ways to thinking, which will change your brain frequency overall, which will change your mood, which will change your mindset, which will motivate you to do something new in your life. Okay? I hope I got everything on that one. I'm surprised I was able to get that one all out in one spiel. Because it is really confusing. The brain is. You have to trigger each thing, each step of the way. Like I was saying. Okay? The healing process cannot be continuous if you're not dedicated to it, and it cannot be beneficial if you don't take it serious. Okay? Now, I took my healing serious to the point where all I was looking for was peace, and I found it. Okay? You go to work from sunrise to sunset, you work your fucking ass off, you get your pay at the end of the week or 2 weeks, and you go to town. Okay? You go to town, get you some new boots, hat, go get a haircut. You get what I'm saying? You take care of yourself, make yourself feel good. That's part of healing. But not making piss poor choices and blowing your entire paycheck on payday. I'm saying. There's different methods. There's several different methods. Pick one. Okay? Find something that makes you happy, but it's not a piss poor decision. Okay? And when I was seeking peace, relaxation, quiet, disconnect, I did that basically subconsciously. Okay? I knew what I was desiring was out there, away from everybody. Okay? And that's how I accomplished it. What I did not understand was I was seeking healing from the trauma. Okay? So I had a natural instinct to get away. So when we have that natural instinct to get away from what's traumatizing us, we need to think wisely. Choose wisely. Don't go running off into some fucking spiral where you're getting into drugs, alcohol, fucking writing fucking floating checks and fucking all kinds of dumb shit and getting in debt, doing dumb retard shit. Okay? My choice was responsible. Okay? In my case, Every woman I've been with chose to keep my kids from me. The last one, Amber, literally said to my face, she's using my kids for the money. Yeah. And all these different things traumatized me along with childhood, along with wartime scenarios from the Marine Corps and the Army. Through the process of working my ass off and then watching the sunset, sitting there relaxing, make myself a fire pit right outside the camper. I've got this little fold-up metal fire pit. It's pretty nice. One of the fellow campers gave that to me, and I had one that was square once, but it got crushed and bent up pretty good. But anyway, all these little things that you do, like the campfire, listening to rain, or the stream or river going by, listening to the birds, watching a sunset, watching the deer and elk go by, bird watching, watching the ducks, the geese, and the big giant, what are those things, cranes? Storks, I think they are, I forget what they are. Anyway, all of it is a form of relaxation and healing, okay? And a type of meditation, because it gets your mind in that state so that you're calm. And that's what you're looking for, okay? And during these moments of calm and peace, I often found myself speculating about different things, and let's kill the bug. And coming to certain realizations about my life, about who I am, who I thought I was, and truly realizing that I ran away to the Marine Corps because I thought I was going to die in war. That was naive. Maybe, or maybe. Who knows? But from my perspective, God didn't want me to die there. Okay? I tried to put myself in harm's way. I did. I was stupid. I got knocked down in rank because of it. But I got the job done. You know what I'm saying? I did get out at E7 in the Army. That's Sergeant First Class. Okay. In the Marine Corps, that would be Gunnery Sergeant. I kind of wish I did another 4 with the Marine Corps instead. Although that could have triggered me to go down the dark side. That could have. Because the Marine Corps was far more serious and frontline combat. Okay? The Army was going to different places, doing piddly shit that their own country fucking people should have been doing. Okay? The only cool thing that I did in the Army that nobody will ever fucking believe is we went to the fucking South Pole. Okay? There's shit there. A lot of shit there. Anyway. So let's back up. We're already at 30 minutes here. the whole point about this video is that I realized that I and other people my age grew up with parents that were more concerned about other people's kids outside the household, or kids that they were babysitting, rather than their own. Okay? And it took quite a while for me to figure that out. And it just dawned on me that's what was happening. Okay? So this is an aha moment in live, almost live, real time. It's 6:15 p.m. or 6:15 a.m. on June 12th, Friday. Okay? And I'm just coming to this realization. Yeah. So, after the physical, mental, and emotional abuse as a child, I also know I was being neglected and abused by my mother. That's strange. It's not just her husband that was doing it. And now that I realize it, I'm babysitting my mother. That's strange, how the tables have turned. Fucking wow. So kids, if you have felt that mom was more concerned about other people's kids, and you didn't know how to express it, and you see dad now in realizing what I just went through, maybe this will hit home. Maybe it's just me, but other people my own age have expressed the same issues. Okay, and I see it in current time, and I see women my age demonstrating the same exact behavior. Okay, so it's not just me and my childhood, it's current time. And if my kids have had this issue, just tell me. Okay? Don't be afraid to talk to me. And kids, remember, when you talk to me, it's not going back to mom or her spouse. Okay? I'm your dad. It stays with dad. Alright? So, anyway, I'm going to get off here, go get some coffee, and ponder some more about my life as I read. I got some videos to watch today on the subject. And for anybody else watching, think about it. Was your mom a babysitter? Do you think you felt neglected or physically or mentally or emotionally abused in the household while mom was a babysitter? Think about it. Okay? Anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. And dad's just having a fucking brain fart of an epiphany. Just, wow. And she's still concerned to this day about their bus schedule. Y'all have a beautiful day.